The war in Ukraine has long been the most urgent conflict for Western leaders. That is, until this happened. The US and Israel's war against Iran has dragged in much of the Middle East and grabbed the world's attention. The worry for Ukraine is that key resources will be diverted and allies distracted, all while the rising price of oil benefits Russia's invasion. But alongside these risks, there are some surprising opportunities for Ukraine as it continues its struggle. So, will the conflict in the Middle East help or hinder Ukraine's war effort? For the latest on this and all the world's top news stories, don't forget to subscribe to AFP. At an undisclosed location somewhere in Ukraine, a pilot demonstrates one of the country's most crucial weapons, a P-1 Sun interceptor drone. Now produced at a rate of tens of thousands a month, the interceptors are designed to target incoming explosive drones such as the Shahed 136.
Basically, the military can see on the radar the Shahed drone, then they put out the P-1 Sun drone and deploy it right to the target. You can put in the tail up to 800 grams of munition, which allows you to detonate the P-1 Sun roughly 5 meters away from the target and still hit it.
Drones have played an ever bigger part in the Ukraine war since 2022, when Russia's full-scale invasion began. Kyiv has been forced to innovate rapidly. They've done this by creating direct links between frontline units and drone production companies.
So the guys at the front say, well, this was working, this isn't working. That information is fed back, and in a matter of days or weeks, modifications, upgrades, changes to the drone designs are developed at scale, and those new devices sent back to the front.
Despite being in a fight for its survival, Ukraine has managed to get to a level of production where it can even afford to export some of its expertise. This hasn't gone unnoticed by Gulf countries. When the US and Israel attacked Iran at the end of February, Tehran responded with strikes of its own against US and allied interests in the Gulf, from military bases to energy facilities. Gulf countries did already have air defences, but they were generally designed to hit small numbers of targets using interceptor missiles which can each cost millions of dollars. Iran's strategy has involved sending large waves of much cheaper drones, meaning they can overwhelm defences despite flying relatively slowly. So, Gulf nations have turned to Ukraine for their experience deploying cheap interceptor drones. In the last week of March, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky went on a tour of the Gulf, agreeing 10-year drone defense deals with Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Qatar, while discussions continue with Jordan, Bahrain and Oman.
Ми впродовж цих 10 років будемо займатися копродукцією, будувати заводи в обох, як в Українах лінії виробництва, так і в цих країнах.
As well as being a vote of confidence in Ukraine's technical prowess, the deals will give the country a welcome financial boost. But the agreements don't go quite as far as Ukraine had hoped.
Ukraine has these cheap anti-drone systems. The Gulf is using much more expensive systems against the drones that really should be used against missiles, much more difficult target. Ukraine was hoping to, in effect, achieve a swap. It seems at this stage that probably won't happen. That it seems more likely than not that Ukraine will simply get money.
That's a problem, because even while conflict has affected a swathe of the Middle East, Russia is still fiercely attacking Ukraine. March the 24th saw one of its largest daytime attacks yet. These strikes are made by both waves of drones and faster missiles, so Ukraine still needs expensive interceptor missiles as well as its cheaper interceptor drones. Western nations are now reaching the limit of how many interceptor missiles they can produce, and Ukraine worries about their supplies being diverted to the Gulf.
Направлення допомоги на Близький Схід, так, такі ризики існують. Тому ми прямо про це розмовляємо з нашими партнерами.
The other major problem the Middle East war has caused for Ukraine is rising oil prices. The crucial Strait of Hormuz has remained largely closed by Iran during the war, with oil tankers and other ships coming under attack. Before the conflict, around 20% of the world's oil passed through the strait from the many refineries dotting its shores. As Iran stopped ships from crossing the strait and the US blockaded Iranian ports, oil prices soared and still remain far above pre-war levels. This has been hugely helpful to Russia, as it means higher profits from its oil and gas exports, which it can spend on its war in Ukraine. Not only that, but the Trump administration has eased sanctions on the sale of Russian energy in an effort to keep oil and gas prices from rising even further. European leaders, whose countries have largely boycotted Russian energy in response to its invasion of Ukraine, are critical.
Putin can't be the one who benefits from the conflict in Iran, whether that's oil prices or the dropping of sanctions.
Ich will das sehr deutlich sagen, jetzt Sanktionen zu lockern, aus welchen Gründen auch immer, das halten wir für falsch.
The higher revenues will certainly help Moscow's ability to finance the war effort, but they can't buy everything.
Rubles alone don't fight. For the past 3 or 4 months, Russia has been losing more people on the battlefield than it's been able to add to its ranks. It's not clear whether even more money being offered will encourage more people to fight.
One final factor linking the Ukraine war with the Middle East conflict is Russia's alliance with Iran. The two countries signed a strategic partnership agreement in 2025. It doesn't commit Russia to come to Iran's aid in a conflict, but several US media outlets have reported that Russia has provided targeting information to Iran to help it attack US forces. When asked about this, Donald Trump agreed Russia could be helping Iran a little bit, but brushed off the concern, declining to directly criticize Vladimir Putin. Britain's Defence Secretary, meanwhile, has called the Russia-Iran alliance an axis of aggression.
We've seen the way that Russia has fired nearly 60,000 Iranian-style drones into Ukraine, and we see from Iran some of the same tactics we see from Russia in Iran. And so those links between two countries that menace their neighbours, that pose a threat more widely to us all, are part and parcel of what we're dealing with.
Despite being thousands of kilometres apart, the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East have surprisingly strong connections with each other. While Russia may be hoping that problems in the Gulf will continue to keep oil prices high, Kyiv is more keen for global focus to switch back to Ukraine.